Hello, beautiful humans. Welcome to my channel. My name is Tara Fleming, and I am a Level 2 QHHT practitioner working out of Nova Scotia, Canada. If you would like to book a session with me, please visit my website. The link is in this description below. In this session, my client has already been receiving the information he needed to clear through his meditation practices, but mostly through daydreams that were triggered by certain songs. After speaking about each of these stories, we were able to release the energies. These stories were about very dark things like the Unholy Undead, queens, vampires, a journey through hell, angels, monsters, the last fireflies, and regret. Please note that this session, it was really interesting because it took me a while to get Mark to start speaking to me. He kept just seeing these daydreams, and he was trying to figure out why he was seeing these basically for the first hour, and then until he started divulging these daydreams, that's when the work really started. So this is a perfect example of how each person's experiences, they each experience QHHT differently, and how we can't really put any expectations on how a session should look or how it should be received. We just have to go with the flow and work with our higher self and our guides and let it unfold and do the best we can. So I would like to thank my client Mark right now very much for allowing me to share his session so that others may also be healed just by listening to the session. I hope you enjoy the session with much love always. See you on the other side.
I'm remembering a daydream that I would have.
Okay.
It's to a song. It's like a very dramatic song.
Okay.
The dream goes that there's a group of people in like a medieval city. They're trapped in a church. It's like undead zombie apocalypse scenario.
Mm-hmm.
People on the outside are trying to fight the things off. There's a man in the church, and he starts singing like a prayer or a hymn, and it's kind of like a begging. And then as it reaches a kind of crescendo, a light appears over the figures fighting the people and the undead. And all the undead see like their loved ones, and they're kind of being dissolved into the light. But the man in the church, he's still singing, and there's spirits in the church singing with him, and he's taking all the stuff that was making them undead onto himself, and he becomes undead.
Okay.
While releasing everything that's attacking and besieging the city and them. And then the vision ends with him, like he is undead, but he's like a holy undead.
Okay. So he's a good undead.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is like from a song?
Yeah, the song inspired the story, and then the two kind of reinforce each other.
Okay.
The song's lyrics itself are kind of like nonsensical. There's no actual like lyrics.
Okay.
It's just a hymn.
Okay.
Hymn.
And this is repeated, like this is something you daydream about. This is a vision or whatever you daydream about regularly.
The memory of it came back, and then if I listen to the song, the daydream comes back, and if I remember the song, the daydream comes back with it.
Okay.
Now I'm feeling some shivering behind me.
All right, you got the chills.
Chills, yeah.
Yeah. That's a truth then for you. It's not just a daydream. That's a vision.
Yeah.
So maybe part of the thing that's part of you, maybe you were the one who took on the undead in an alternative universe or timeline. And now you have to release that energy that you've taken on.
I have a few more, but
Well, there you go.
but then am I not just bringing them out, kind of?
No, see, you need to talk. Talk. Your imagination is your true self. Your subconscious, that's how it talks to you. With your imagination.
Another big song that I've had for like over the years, and the story has kind of like evolved and reinforced itself. It's an 8-minute song, and the general story of it is, well, the story that I've conjured to it is, it's first scene is that there's this giant pit in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Siberia, Russia. It's like a giant mining pit. The pit that leads to hell because it's so deep.
Right.
There's a male figure waiting on the edge with a female figure, and the male figure's begging the female figure not to leave or go because it's dangerous, so she might not come back. She says she has to do this to rescue the person she loves.
Okay.
And she descends into the hole, and which just becomes kind of like a portal, and she's traveling between dimensions.
Okay.
There's kind of like a starry background as she's traveling, but then she also goes into her own memory, and in her memory she's one of the angels that was part of the Lucifer's rebellion.
Okay.
But she wasn't anything big, and she's begging to not be cast out, and her sister kind of kicks her chains over the edge, and she's literally dragged down. And so there's the image of her. First it's like clouds, and then it's fire, and she's burning up and screaming to be forgiven. And as she's about to be completely burnt away, the image cuts back to her in her present form, which is when she's went into the hole, she was a human, and this is her true form, which is as a demon, and she's descending through hell.
Mm-hmm.
You see these like giant statues, half crumbled, with their hands reaching out towards the sky, and it's like a burning background. And she's like floating down this scene. It's the first layer of hell,
Okay.
where the souls of the damned are like marched down into the deeper layers.
Right.
And she lands on the ground, and her wings collapse onto herself to become a cloak. She's got like half her horn broken. She's got like a very scarred face. She's like she's like a succubus, but she's not very beautiful in her actual demon form.
Okay.
It's like very cracked skin, molten skin.
Right.
And you got these two, I don't know why I'm shaking right now.
It's okay. It's the energy.
There's these two like more monstrous demons that come to attack her, because I guess they just think someone to bully.
Yeah.
She summons the sword, and the sword was something that she had when she was an angel. The sword's broken, hilt's tarnished, but she's still able to defeat them. She's writing. Why am I shaking?
It's the energy. It's okay.
She's riding on a steed that she took from the demon she slew. She's got like their heads,
Yeah.
hanging off the horse or her belt. And just before she enters like the city, the gate, she enters like this sort of house or stall. It's like Bronze Age style clay housing. The figure is like this kind of, it's like they've got these tarnished wings and multiple eyes. They're like something that's got knowledge.
Right.
It's an artifact shop. She makes a deal that she gives him the sword. In exchange, he gives her. Why am I shaking?
It's okay. It's your ego who cares about that.
She can like conjure a portal. She'll be able to conjure a portal in the back of his shop for what she needs to do next. Then she gets a scroll to summon as well as an amulet.
Right.
And there's kind of this montage of scenes of her descending through various layers of hell. You know, Raph looks like something out of World War I, II, with giant machines of war blasting back and forth. She wanders through the forests of suicides, and she gives one of the weeping trees water. She's climbing through rocks and mountains and lava and storms, and finally she gets to the deepest part of hell, which is all frozen and cold. Yeah. And the reason her partner is in hell is because she was originally trying to tempt this human. She failed, and however she got injured, I think because her debt was coming up, but he protected her and nursed her back, and then they fell in love. So she fell in love with a holy man, essentially. And then when her debt came up to be collected, he took her place in hell.
Okay.
So she goes to the deepest pit of hell, where he's kind of frozen in ice. And she cracks through the stone with the amulet, and the amulet like sort of sucks his soul in and puts it in this container.
Okay.
And that's when, you know, these like shadowy figures that like are the keepers of this prison, where all the like demons themselves are essentially housed in their own hell. They start chasing her, and she activates the portal, and she starts rapidly ascending through the layers of hell.
Right.
And they're chasing her through this portal. But as
so good, keep going.
And then she's about to hit the original skyline that she came through originally. But the thing is, as she gets close to the skyline and the shadowy figures stop pursuing her, it turns into like this blue fire, because no demon can actually leave hell.
Right.
Like legitimately leave it.
Right.
And she decides to go through it anyway as a form of self-sacrifice, and it turns into like this pure white flame that she's being completely torn apart in. Her amulet cracks, and he appears, and they're trying to hold on to each other, but she loses him, and then she looks like she's about to completely dissolve, and then he
This is perfect. No, keep going. You're doing so good.
and then
Yeah, you're doing so good.
I'm so
You're allowed to be upset about this.
well, they find each other. He holds on to her.
Feel the feelings.
Screaming, crying, and it looks like they're about to die. And then it's pure white.
Yeah.
And then this is near the end of the song, like it's just clouds, and then as it starts clearing up, it's like when she fell into the tunnel originally, which was just clouds and smoke. You see them holding each other, and she's restored into her angel form. And, you know, and the figure's got like some spare clothes ready. It was like a fellow demon that was her friend on the earth, and he goes to cover them both up, but then her sisters and Hammond come down to take her back, because, you know, she's restored, she's not a demon anymore.
Right.
But she doesn't want to, so she summons her blade, which is also restored and away from that demon she gave it to, and she cuts off her wings and gives it back to Heaven, and she becomes human to stay with him. And that's one of the stories that I had in my head with that song.
Okay, so that's amazing. That's your daydreams are actually not just daydreams. So that's why we're seeing these today and getting them. It's because you have to realize that everything we've been speaking about today coincides very well with these daydreams. They're real. It sounds like you were this angel, had this experience, because as we said, there's always people waiting with their hands out. Right? So let's have some deep breaths. You're doing so good. And you're describing these dreams and daydreams so well. Memories. You're releasing all that tension, and you're allowing Source to be welcomed back into your heart, your soul, and being full and complete, and forgiving yourself for anything that you did in the past, and leaving it in the past where it belongs. How's your tension in your head? What are you feeling in your heart and your head now?
I guess, there's the shaking has stopped.
Yeah.
There's still some mild feelings here.
Okay. Alright, so I think we should focus on that spot and do what you did before, and then tell me the next images or daydreams or memories that come. So focus on that spot.
I still remember them all very vividly.
Oh, perfect.
But
So what's the first one that comes to mind?
this story it's kind of weird because it comes up in like different. It's like a mini story in two different stories. But the story is that there is a soldier. He's old now. He's either with another group of like adventurers, or he's by himself, and he's in a forest that's covered in mist. And he's being pursued by this sort of like giant burned humanoid monster.
Okay.
And at some point he turns around to confront it, but on the path to confronting it, he also has visions of when he was actually a soldier and he was walking through a burning village that, his unit was burning down because they were committing an atrocity. And he remembers like the children and the women burning.
Okay.
And so then as
What's the matter?
the image that comes up is that it's like his grief, his pain, he's screaming, but the children are also screaming. The images are overlaid with each other.
Okay.
And then at some point the monster comes into view, and he, instead of confronting, drops the weapon and kind of holds his arms out to be taken. And then as the monster takes a bite, the monster is mildly transformed into something that resembles one of the people from the village. And then they also start kind of like screaming into the valley. And it's like all their pain combined into one. And it's like grieving the fact that it even had to eat him. And as its head touches the ground in grief, it begins to comes apart and like dissolves and fades, and the mist fades from the valley, and the scene becomes more serene and normal.
Okay.
It's like being dispelled.
Perfect. So these are energies that need to leave the body right now. So let the body release them.
Why do these stories have energy?
Because they're not just stories that you've made up. They are true realities of experiences you've lived, and they are stored within you. And we need to release those stories and forgive yourself. And for all those experiences you had, they are experiences, and you've grown and changed. And now you want to be of service. So now we don't need those experiences anymore. We can let them go. So just when you breathe, let's breathe them out. Breathe in the light and breathe out the darkness. And forgive yourself for that experience. It was an experience. That's all it was. We are all the bad guys sometimes. We have to learn that. And now, as you're drifting and floating, what is the next one that comes to mind?
How do I describe it?
It's okay. Take your time. Relax.
It's these two female figures. One's like a smaller creature, one's more human-like, but she has this... it's like an elf, but she has like this weird corruption that makes parts of her body like look like gems or rocks. It's because she's... in this world, she's a guide for people who want to go into this dungeon to gather treasure or or to reach the bottom, which has some device that grants a wish. But the thing is, the actual dungeon is a trap. It's designed by someone that just wants to feed off of these people as they go through there. Anyone who dies in there, they feed off their souls. And anyone who gets their greed acquiesced and brings it out into the world, they feed off of that too. It's just a whole trap of conflict. And she was a survivor of a group that died in this dungeon that's always shifting to people's nightmares and just trying to like... it's an artificial hell, essentially. Her life was spared by the spirit or the owner of this hell in exchange for bringing more people down, the way she dictates. And sometimes some of the stories I mentioned, like the priest and the soldier in the woods, they get mixed into this story.
Right.
So they, in order to progress deeper into the dungeon, these two had to do what they did through their respective landscapes.
Okay.
And she's with this other female figure who's like this innocent warrior who's, the classic hero. And she won the only wish she wants granted is kind of like world peace or happiness for everyone. She doesn't want gold, she doesn't want power. Very innocent figure. And they reach the final room of the dungeon, which is like this... It's spherical. It's
Okay.
circle. It's gold. It's intricate patterns and layers of circles engraved in the floor. And in the center is this... it's either a diamond or a sphere. But when the young hero tries to... and this is copying a scene from a book to a certain degree.
Right.
She's trying to approach this artifact, and then some kind of wave of energy comes out and like hits her kind of like a grenade and just kills her on the spot. And then the guy, that's the corrupted woman, she's in shock, and then the figure from the dungeon that guides her and haunts her is coming there to sort of thank her, lord over her, or something like that, punish her, torment her.
Yeah.
But she also kind of like wipes her memory so she can keep doing her job. But this particular experience with these figures and how they all sort of confronted their pain and accepted their fates, she picks up the body of the younger one and just starts running towards the artifact. Suddenly the floor starts shifting into steps to prevent her from getting closer, and the energy starts pulsating and is tearing apart her body, but she's screaming and pushing through this energy until she's almost completely dead, and taps the sphere, which radiates a blinding light, and she makes the younger hero's wish.
The one that died?
The one that died.
And then what happens?
It's partly the song is... the story is partly from the song and partly from inspired by a book It's have you ever read Roadside Picnic?
No.
It's happiness free for everyone and let no one be forgotten.
Okay.
But there seems to be a running theme for all these stories.
Yes. What's the running theme?
It's self-destruction, kind of, but also some kind of sacrifice.
Right.
For someone else. Either for someone past or for someone future or someone present.
Right. And so we can acknowledge that now. The running theme is always the same. It's cyclical.
And now my leg's shaking.
Yeah. And now that you see that, they're all the same. You can forgive all of those characters and all of those daydreams.
What am I forgiving?
For anything that they did bad, like taking people and trapping them in that area, or you're letting it go. Those imaginary daydreams, you're letting them go. And so that they don't have to continue to live. They can go where they're supposed to go, to transmute into the light.
It's like pulsing down my leg out my foot.
There you go. Out your foot?
Like it feels like it's a downwards pulsating.
Yeah, a lot of times it goes out through your feet.
Is this where they live? Whatever's attached to me, or is this my past?
Yeah. These daydreams aren't just daydreams. They're part of your past. They're alternate realities that you've lived, that your soul lives. Different dimensions. And you hold on to them in this life. But they're not serving you in this life. So we can let them go. And we're letting them go through your body and out through your feet. You're shaking, you're getting rid of them all that energy. You got lots built up in there because I was feeling it before you even got here. But you are a bright light now. You've done a lot of work. You want to be of service to the light. You've succeeded in all these other lives. You've escaped. And now it's time to release them. All that energy. So breathing in the light and breathing out the darkness and letting that energy flow through your body, out through your feet. You're doing so good. You thought you just had a good imagination.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't realize that you were already seeing past lives and experiences. How's your head feeling now?
It's a lot better. There's still a little bit there, but it's a lot better.
That's good. And your heart? Yeah. Do you have anything happening? Heat or tingling or anything?
Like I could tap into its pump rate. It seems steady.
Okay. Now as we're going to drift and flow, I want you to drift and flow, and drift and flow, another scene or another time in another place and tell me the first thing that comes to mind.
It's, it's a brother and a sister who are trying to protest some kind of pollution. I think it's either an oil pipeline or a forest deforestation, some kind of industrial project that's ruining the environment.
Okay.
And there's some kind of riot, or I think they're trying to break up the camp. I think the brother chases after his sister and they manage to get out of the chaos, and they go into this field which seems like dry and like dying, and she's collapsed and crying and wondering what the point of it all is. Or why does any of it matter?
Right. It's okay. Feel the feelings. They were real experiences.
There's like the fire from the distance or the camp.
Yeah. It's okay.
I'm crying.
It's okay. It's normal. People cry all the time. Let the tears come. You're releasing them. Energy that way. You're doing so good.
It's the fireflies.
Okay.
It's called the last fireflies because when she breaks down to crying, it's like almost night, and then the field starts lining up, and it's the last fireflies, and she sees them all flowing off one last time.
It's okay. You're feeling it. You're supposed to feel this. Let your body feel it. Feel into it. So it's a protest. In the oil fields, brother and sister. And then it's night, and there's fireflies.
And it's like one lands in her hands, and she's crying. She's praying, and the brother says, "We do it for them. We do this for them." And this also came from a song as well.
Okay.
I don't know why the music wakes the.
Yeah, it seems to be your the way it wakes you up. Mm-hmm.
It's always the music that has these very, like, I don't even think of them in advance. They just come up vividly with certain songs.
Okay, and so what happens after she's holding the firefly?
The story that's as far as it goes.
That's as far as it goes. Okay. That sounds like it might be a future.
Yeah.
Alright, keep breathing. Feel your feelings and let them go.
And,
that way, you can release all that energy. If you store any of that energy in you, it causes dis-ease.
did I always have this energy, or did it come to me?
You came with it, so I'd say you've had it. You have to know how to work with it, and you're doing so good right now. There you go. And how's your body feeling now?
I guess lighter.
Is it lighter?
Yeah.
You guess, or is it? Come on.
It feels.
There's no right
It's
answer.
not like it's 100% lighter, but it feels lighter.
It does feel lighter. Okay, good. Well, there's lots of energy in there that needs to get out still.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yes. It is lighter, though. It is much later, yeah. Okay, so let's drift and float again with your breath. Drifting and floating to the next scene that your subconscious wants you to explore.
I guess this other dream it's more violent, dark.
Okay. Don't worry, tell me all about it. Like I said, I watched Conan when I was 3. So.
It's about it's a female vampire,
Yeah.
and the stories that come with these it's more excitable music, darker music. They're usually very violent.
Yeah.
It's like she hunts other. It's like those little pop shows. She hunts other vampires, but the stories always end. The endings, there's like 3 different endings, but they always end basically that she, in order to stop these things who are causing the world to descend into violence. Well, the world descends into violence regardless, but she cuts them off at their peak, to destroy them. She has to essentially become even more demonic herself. It's either she's in a lair, or she's in an apartment building, or she's storming some kind of complex where they're having a meeting or a ritual. And in the process of killing them, she also devours them, and in devouring them, she assumes she looks less human and starts looking more like a demon. Wings, claws, all these things, as she descends deeper into violence. And then when she completes her, paying evil onto evil, either she commits an act of self-destruction, or something comes and cleans up and finishes her off to complete the cycle. In the latest iteration of this vision, she's not doing it necessarily out of resentment or anger of her own crusade, but because there is another figure who's trying to rehabilitate people and purify himself and the other creatures. But that means he's very weak and he can't really protect anyone. So in order to protect him and his clinic, she has to destroy herself in the act of destroying these people. And he's begging her not to go, but she feels like she has to, even if it hurts him.
So you said she has to destroy herself in the act of destroying these people?
Because in order for her to be able to do the violence that she needs to commit, she has to commit violence onto herself through that demonic transformation, and she has to die. She can't go back into the world when she's completed her complete descent.
Okay.
Because then she would be another monster. She doesn't want to be part of the problem.
Right. And so, is that the last ending, or does it?
It always ends with her dying.
Okay.
But this time it's it feels less positive than the other ones.
Right. Yeah, she just dies.
After very extreme scenes of violence.
Right. And, but as we know, there is no death. There's just transformation. So, she must eventually go back to the light. So maybe that's what we need to do right now.
But why are all these figures women, usually? I guess why is it in most of these visions it's the man is a healer and the woman is a warrior who has to go through a destructive process?
Maybe because I don't know why exactly. We can ask that. We'll ask the subconscious that later. I'll write that down.
Yeah, I guess saying all of this out loud, that doesn't occur to me before, but it is the dominant theme. It's
It is, yes, isn't it? Why are all...
except for the soldier, that one's its own.
So they're all dominant women, and the men seem to be more spiritual, holy, right?
Yeah, it's like the man is assuming the feminine archetype, and the woman is assuming the masculine archetype.
Yeah, so they're switched, yeah.
Yeah. And, do you want to hear another one?
Yeah. Oh, before we move on, we want to acknowledge the woman's sacrifice of herself and thank her. So you can do that inside your head, because I know you're more comfortable speaking inside your head. So just thank her for her sacrifice and ask her to go to the light, the loving light of Source.
I'm trying to imagine her like going to the light. Did I get this hit? It's like upwards pressure.
Perfect. Let me know when she's gone. You'll know. Just trust in it. Thank her. For her sacrifice and her strength, and release her to Source's loving light to go home.
Feel I don't know if I'm hearing the vibrations or feeling them. There's like a vibration in my hands.
Okay.
It's
Perfect.
in my back. Like it's like a soul. It's like I'm lying down on the vibration.
Yeah. Yeah. Go with it. Let it happen. Don't fight it.
There's another destructive female warrior.
Okay.
It's similar to the church and the city and the undead and the setting.
Okay.
Except she's, I guess in this alternate variation, she's a mother. She was a crusader. She was the head of a regiment of knights. But she was basically a glory hound. She was full of pride and she loved violence. And they're hailed as heroes when they come back. But what they did was not heroic, and the curse follows them back into the city for their crimes.
What timeline is this to you? What does it seem like?
It's like late medieval. It's like full plate,
Okay.
swords, houses, carts, horses. No. Sometimes there might be flintlocks in this vision. Sometimes it's just crossbows.
Okay.
So in punishment for what they did, they become undead, and they basically haunt and destroy the very city that they were sworn to protect and they were supposed to be heroes of.
Right.
Not only that, but during her life, she was also a very horrible parent because she resented the fact that when she had the kid, she had to stop being a soldier, stop being, a hero. And she was basically kind of like an abusive mother. She was yelling at the child, she mistreating the child. She marries a man who's like more of a scholar, a magician. They were serving together. And the father basically takes over the child and takes custody of him, and she returns to being a general, and that's when she commits her, like, what she's known as a hero for, but what was actually like a massacre.
Like an atrocity.
Atrocity, like she massacres the people, and the leader of the people puts a curse on her.
Okay.
And then the son, the child, sometimes it's the son, sometimes it's the daughter, they come back to the city to try and like take it back and to find out what happened. And I think at some point, either she's fighting a demon or she's fighting some other undead figure that's from her host of knights. She rescues her child, and in the process she is filled with light, and it brings her back to life, but the child is either dead or near dead. In order to bring the child back to life, she has to give up the light to bring the child back to life, and in doing so she will not only return to being undead, but she's going to die and go to hell to finally face punishment for what she did. Because before, she was just in this state of like constantly reliving her memories, and like they're undead, they're haunting the city, they're just acting out their lives, they're not really aware, they're stuck in their paths and what they did. But now she's actually aware of who she is and where she is and what she did, and so she finally is a good mother and gives up her life for her child instead of resenting the child. And then the scene is, and this is where the song inspires it. She's walking. She defeats the undead. The undead have all faded. The city, the smoke and mist that was covering it fades away, and now it's raining. And she's walking down the streets. There's a vision of her marching down on a parade. And then the vision flashes to her on her wedding. And you can see sort of the vision flashing back to the present of her walking, and there's like spirits watching her, and then slowly fading away as she passes them. And she comes to a park, and then she sees herself as a normal human, and the park is full of, grass, and it's a nice day, and she's lying against the tree, and her husband's beside her. And she sees her child playing in the distance, and she's just happy and terribly sad at the same time, because it's the only time she's actually ever felt peace. But then the vision has to dissolve, and then the child in the present time wakes up and starts like running after, trying to find her mom, and she hears her name being called, and the field's decaying, her body's returning back to an undead state, and hands start reaching out and dragging her back. In her mind, she feels like she's being dragged in to the place she deserves to be in.
Right.
And then the child finds her body in the park, and her spirit gone. Yeah.
Is that where it ends?
That's where it ends. City's restored, but the undead go where they go.
This woman, once again, is a hero in the end. She was evil, and then she ends as a hero. Same theme. We need to thank her and forgive her for her atrocities. Thank her for, in the end, rescuing her son. Forgive her for the abuse of her son. We need to let that go. We need to let her go back to source, back to the light. We forgive her. We need to alchemize them back to the light, and releasing all that sorrow and anger, and forgive her. Let her go back to the light. Say thank you for correcting your mistakes. Forgive her. It was an experience that she learned from.
Why do I have sharp pain all of a sudden?
And that's why we're getting somewhere. You're forgiving her. You're helping her to go back. Envision helping her back to source. Reach out your hand, or let source reach out towards her and grabs a hold of her and brings her back into the light. However you want to envision that in your mind.
There's one more story.
Okay. Before we move on, though, how's your head feeling now?
It's weird. It's like it's more thin here, but then all of a sudden it gets sharp over here, but then it goes
Down your cheeks, jawbone.
No, I mean like it's just sharp.
It's sharp there. Okay. At your temples.
Yeah.
All right. So, were you able to send her back to the light?
I imagined it.
Perfect. And with your intention, you forgive her and yourself if that was you in the past. With that true intention, letting it go. Alright, so now you can tell me the next story.
Well, I guess a story of the memory came up.
Okay.
It's a woman. It's not industrial. It's like early industrial period. It's a queen or someone who's about to become a queen. She is gonna be married to her childhood best friend.
Okay.
But her husband has been involved in like...
So the person she's going to be married, has it been involved with someone else?
No, he's done bad things.
Okay.
And she, like, this is like a period of unrest. There's like civil unrest going on. And he's like, he hasn't had a wife, so he's about to marry her. But she's also was working with a group of people who I guess were like the rebels or a revolutionary group, and they bring to her evidence of all the atrocities he's been involved in, and they're asking her, because she's the only one who can really get close to him, if she can assassinate him, essentially.
Right.
And she has memories of their childhood together, and how, from her perspective, how wonderful he was to her. But then reading the material she has, she also sees, I guess, the victims in her mind's eye as well. And she is deeply torn about what she has to do. She moves to her day of coronation, and in her, like, sometimes it's a wedding, sometimes it's a coronation. She hides a pistol on her body, on her ceremonial outfit. And as she's walking down the aisle for the ceremony, she sees like a vision of her and him as children walking, holding hands.
Yeah. You're doing so good.
And
It's okay.
it's like she's in the grand building and there's a crowd around her, but the crowd fades and it's just like black, and she's on the red carpet and there's just him against the white light, and it's like funeral music playing for her as she's walking down the aisle.
Right.
And at the moment she reaches up, and then either about to kiss or hold hands, the bouquet drops and she's holding the gun to him.
Yeah.
And it's like the scene's frozen or in slow motion. He's shocked, and then his face turns to anger, and she's just crying, and then she closes her eyes, and then she pulls the trigger, and that's where the scene ends.
Wow, that's a doozy. So, she's feeling guilty about what she did.
Because she loves him.
Yes.
But she also knows this is the right thing to do, because he's responsible for so much. And she's the only one who can do this.
And so, this scene was important because this scene, she needs to forgive herself for shooting him. She feels guilty for shooting him, even though she knows it's the right thing to do. Because by doing this, she saved many lives. And as she knows, there is actually, now she knows, because you are her, there is no death. You can forgive yourself. And you can let that go. Because you did the right thing, even though it was hard. So you need to reach out to you, yourself, your inner child, and give yourself a hug. Say, I forgive you. Thank you for doing the right thing. There is no death. You can meet in the afterlife. And you can send her home to Source's loving light with forgiveness and forgiving yourself. Breathing in to Source's loving light, to the places where you feel the pressure or the pain in your body, filling those places up with Source's light, and exhaling any darkness or energy that's no longer serving you. You're doing so good. Can you envision sending her home?
I am.
Okay. And now we're going to drift and flow once again. We're going to relax in the breath, and we're going to drift and float, and drift and float, moving away from that scene. You can move either forward or backward to find another appropriate time and place that has information that you need at this time for your highest good.
I guess a memory.
Perfect.
Or a regret, I guess.
Okay, tell me. In as much description as possible. And feelings. Just let the feelings come through.
I guess the first woman I was with in high school,
Okay.
she was a native in Toronto. She didn't come from a very good background. We were only together for about a month or so because I think my mom didn't like her very much. I don't know if it was racism or because my mom could tell that she wasn't meant. She was like, my mom claims she could tell she was mentally unhealthy because of what she's seen in the hospital, and she didn't want her in my life.
Okay.
Not explicit, like she gave off that vibe.
Right.
She didn't really like her staying over or anything like that, so I felt pressure to break up the relationship. I remember first, how was it? We met at an anime convention. Originally, it was her sister flirting with me. When I went up to meet the whole gang, she was the one that was primarily flirting with me, and I was connecting with her.
Right.
I think her sister was jealous, or she was upset by that.
Mm.
And I think I remember I came up and asked her, are you okay? Is everything okay? And she was like, yeah, in that fake okay, she wanted to be left alone.
Mm-hmm.
I left her alone, and then that was later when I slept over for her. That was the first time I was with losing the V card.
Yeah.
And I told her at the time I told her it was my first time, but also didn't necessarily think I wanted to be moving into a relationship.
Right.
But then when she invited me to see her again, she snuck me in through the window. And we were together briefly. I remember I noticed she had cutting scars on her arm.
Oh.
And I think she started feeling bad or crying, and I was trying to comfort her. And that's when her sister came into the room, because I was hiding in the closet. It wasn't supposed to be known that I was in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And it found us like that. And she started yelling at us, saying she wanted us to get out. Her aunt was coming. She's saying her sister had a boyfriend, but she sounded like she was basically disgusted with her sister.
Right.
Just basically yelling at us to get out of the house. And eventually we got dressed, and for some reason she agreed to leave her own house.
Oh.
I don't know why she followed me out, but she did. And then I wanted to cheer her up, so we it was up until 2 a.m. We were wandering around. We went to a shopping center. I played romantic music. We ate a little meal we bought, and she slept over at my place. And we started being together more,
Right.
because I was excited to be with someone for that first time.
Right.
But I still had that kind of toxic internet hypersexuality.
Right.
And at the same time, she was also trying to tell me about, I think, how her dad abused her and all this, because her mom got welfare money, but she basically just spent on either, I think, gambling or alcohol or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And the mother had 4 or 5 kids.
Okay.
Yeah. So at some point around this time, my mom basically pressured me to separate, and I tell her, hey, I don't think I love you, or I want to separate. And she decides to be with me one last time. And then later I find out that she's supposedly pregnant.
Oh.
And at first, I don't tell my parents. I'm just confused. I'm trying to convince her that we're kids, and we're 16. We shouldn't be having kids at 16.
Right.
But she doesn't want to go through with, she has the kid.
Okay.
Which I'm not even entirely sure is mine.
Right.
Because some people are saying, oh, the timeline is off, or she maybe got back with her boyfriend or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to show up a few times to I bought diapers. I saw the child in the hospital. I tried to be supportive, but then when I tried bringing up to my parents that this situation was happening, they heavily pressured me to like cut off contact, say I have a lawyer, or say this, say that. It's like completely shut the whole thing down.
Oh, bad advice.
Yeah, and then so I blocked her on everything, and I never really heard or saw them again. I tried sometimes finding by looking up her name, but I think she changed her name.
Right.
And
So, yeah.
that's one of the things, I guess, like my part of my depression, low self-esteem was that, you know, I kept telling myself, oh, I'm a feminist, I'm different. But then when I actually started getting into relationships, I was having all this either toxic or abusive scenarios that I'm the bad guy, essentially.
Right.
I wasn't the good person I thought I was.
Right.
But then that just ended up being like a kind of self-wallowing, self-pity pit that just exasperated the bad behaviors. And only recently I've untangled that, I guess.
Right. Or even starting to
Untangle it, yeah.
It takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time. It's baby steps.
So that memory came up.
All right. So that memory is important for you to know because you've moved on and learned from that. You know now how you should have responded, right? To
Yeah.
that scenario. What would you have done differently in that scenario?
Like I imagine like the kids showing up, like I've had like different thoughts, like, oh, they show up and then like I either explain what happened and I pay any child support I owe or like any financial support they need, and just like
Right.
going over how do we even reconcile or fix that situation.
Yeah. Well, you have tried to find her already.
I did actually. I can't find her.
And so if the child comes up, you can say, I did try finding you, but I couldn't find you, and I, wish I could take everything back, but I can't, sort of thing. But we can ask the subconscious about that memory as well. Okay, so you have tried reaching out, so you can forgive yourself for cutting her off now.
I'm having vibrations going upwards, and then it stops at the top of my head, like a pressure building.
And so we want to breathe out. We want to, inside, with the intention, you to think about, say to yourself, your inner self, your inner child, you did try to find her to fix this, and you were unable to. So you have to let it go and let the universe decide how it's going to play out. And just send Source's loving light to that child and its mother, and ask for forgiveness from them, and send them Source's loving light to help heal any injury you may have caused them.
Could that have been a soul contract?
It could have been. Sometimes people are only there to be the provider of the baby, or not the provider, the source to get a baby, and not be part of the baby's life. That is part of that can be a contract. It's not always a contract.
I had a friend who did briefly keep up to her information. Like this was like in the early years.
Okay.
And she said like, oh, she got married, she had 3 more kids, and it definitely seems like the one that might be mine was treated differently compared to the other ones.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what they look like or what's happening anymore.
And that could have been sounds like that could have been a contract, because there would be a lesson in that for her to learn if she didn't treat them all the same. Unfortunately, lessons usually are bad things, not good things. So we don't really learn from the good things. So that could have been a contract, but it also could have been your free will. Maybe the contract was you learning that you have to stand up to authority and say, no, I'm going to behave differently and do things differently. That could be a lesson.
Well, it's the funny thing, because like I did present my mother, because my mom was the primary. Her dad usually just was like either a support or like a smoother, but mom was the primary like authority parent.
Yeah.
I did present her style, even if I acknowledged that like she still gave me a lot.
Yeah.
I don't feel resentment for her anymore, because like I understand her as a person, not like as my mom.
Right.
Any more. And I told him about the monk aspiration, and it's like, and I guess I spotted something of her own relationship, because like at first she was supportive of the idea, because like, oh yeah, you were always into this stuff, and then the second she talks to her mom, who was visiting, she suddenly does a 180, and her mom is like a Republican, hard materialist, like, have kids, why aren't you doing this?
Yeah.
It's like she's got this like nervous, like quiet but firm energy.
Right.
I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
Stern old Russian lady who seems really sweet, but it's like she has a hard opinion on things.
Right.
And it's like my family supported me, but it's a very cautious support because of that cynicism from how they grew up.
Right. Okay. So yeah, who knows? But we'll ask subconscious about that. Now I would like to speak to Mark's subconscious, please. Do I have permission to speak to Mark's subconscious? You have to give me permission. You.
I give you permission?
Yeah, you give me, okay. Do I have permission to ask questions?
I give you permission.
Perfect. I know the subconscious could have brought forth many different lifetimes for Mark to see today. Why did you choose those lifetimes to show Mark today?
I have a weird thought that might, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's the right thought.
To heal them?
To heal them. Okay, there you go. Was Mark able to heal them here today?
Yes.
Perfect. Keep breathing. I want you to breathe some more.
Even with the sledge stuff?
Yeah. How is the sledge stuff going?
Feel steady?
Okay. Is it moving through your body?
Yeah, it's like a slow stream down the spine.
Perfect. Why did you show Mark all of the scenes where the women were the dominant figure and the men were the feminine figure?
That's how it should be, or how it will be.
Perfect. Why did you show Mark's first relationship to him?
go confess.
What was that?
Let go or confess.
Okay.
Both terms come up.
Let go or confess. Okay. So Mark is supposed to do both or one or the other?
One is the other? Or one they're tied together?
Okay. So what you're saying is that by confessing his mistake and owning up to it, he can let it go?
Yes.
Okay. What should Mark be doing in his spiritual practice right now?
Well, I mean, it's like an answer comes up, but I don't know if it's the answer I had before or if it's just...
No, just tell me.
It's like less... It's like more proper mindfulness, more meditation, less theorizing, less
That would make
conceptual
sense.
thinking.
That would make sense. What should he not be doing in his spiritual practice?
Don't chase. I guess.
Okay. That makes sense. Don't chase.
Don't chase. Like, I guess don't grasp at the. Let go of the wheel.
Ah,
Kind of don't reduce the control.
reduce the control, let go of the wheel. Okay.
But I'm trying to let. And this image has come up before. It's like trying to let go. I'm trying to let go of the wheel by prying the hand off with another hand. So I'm holding onto the wheel, but I'm also trying to rip the hand off.
Okay.
Instead of just letting go, and I don't know how to unclench.
All right. So maybe in that image now, what we can do is not have the other hand trying to pry the other hand away, but we can just freely let go and fall back and trust.
See, I'm imagining letting go of the wheel, but then I get this head pressure spike.
Ah, yes, of course.
Yeah.
That's fear.
I don't feel afraid.
No, I know, but that's,
But-
that's where it comes from. So,
So this whole head, I just got to sit with this thing.
yeah, yes.
Instead of trying to like get rid of it, I just have to be with it.
Yeah, be with it. Let's do that. We know what to do now. Okay. How are you doing?
It's like I'm letting it do its thing, kind of, in the background.
Perfect. So I'm going to keep asking you questions.
I just have all I need to do is just the breathing.
Yes. Breathe in the light and breathe out the darkness for the light to transmute it. Getting back awake, getting rid of that energy. You've got a lot stored in there, so that's why the breathing is so important for you. So, what does the lives of all of the dominant women and feminine men have to do with this life Mark is currently living?
That's like two answers came up.
Good.
One is that it feels like The dominant female is my astral self, like the inner self,
Okay.
the anima, and the feminine male is so the masculine female is the internal image. The feminine male is my external image.
Okay. Those are both of the answers you got?
And the other answer was that I have some desire as that external image to serve or to find that image in the world to serve, to like carry out that function.
Okay.
To find that the internal image is equivalent in the external world, but I don't know if that's the correct, if that's what I'm supposed to be doing, or if that's what I was mistakenly trying to do. If I'm supposed to just go deeper and that's how I serve.
Okay, so my next question is, what lesson was Mark supposed to learn in all those lives where they were the dominant women?
The way out is through.
Okay, the way out is through. Can you describe it some more for Mark to consciously understand it? You're doing so good. Just let it go. The way out is through. You have it on the tip of your tongue. Just let it come out.
It's a weird concept.
Okay.
It's like I was projecting the feminine onto the masculine because I had as the masculine wanted to be healed, but then what the feminine is going through is what the masculine should be going through, but I've sort of passed on the responsibility to the feminine.
Okay.
When I should also be doing it myself.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it does. It's good. It's on the recording, so you can keep listening to it over and over again if you need to understand until you get it. Okay, what is the purpose of the lives where Mark was the dominant woman?
Repeat?
What is the purpose of the life? So let's start with the first life. I believe it was the angel life that went to the different layers of hell. What was the purpose in that life?
Healing, forgiveness, transformation, but also the willingness to suffer in both going through hell and also in taking on a human life, even after having the chance to not be a human, to be angel.
Okay. So, in fact, that explains the lesson about going through it. Is that correct?
To embrace the pain, or that the pain is where the meaning is.
Okay.
Go towards the pain, don't run away from it.
Okay. Thank you for that. What is the lesson that Mark needs to learn through his first relationship? 'Cause
I wasn't. I needed to take responsibility at the time, but I was scared of responsibility. Now I am ready if that responsibility does arrive.
Okay. Did Mark sign a contract with the girl in his first relationship to do what he did?
I feel like the answer came up as yes, but that seems weird, hard to believe. I don't know.
No, I know it's hard to believe. We're humans. It's hard to believe we want to go through pain and suffering. Okay. Why is Mark having head pressure when he meditates?
Because even if I've conceptually learned the lessons and made some development, the actual energy needs time to process and heal. And it's not just my energy, it's also her energy. The that masculine feminine other half.
Yes. Okay.
It's also her as they have lived through those, or as revealed in those stories.
Right. Thank you for that. Is Mark currently on his correct path in this life?
Yes.
Is there anything Mark can be doing to help keep him on his path in this life?
Patience.
Okay. How does Mark get in contact consciously with his spirit guide in this life? How can you do that?
And it's the intuitive answer, right? It's the one that just comes up.
Yeah.
It's like when so when this head pressure, this energy, this healing has done its thing, I will see the next appropriate step.
Okay.
Or the next appropriate thing will happen.
Okay. So you're not quite ready yet, but you will be soon.
But then I don't understand if on one hand I'm projecting the masculine onto the feminine as a kind of deficiency, on the other hand the dominant, the masculine feminine is also dealing with her own issues as manifesting as the masculine feminine.
Mm-hmm.
So we're mirror selves, mirroring each other's defects or resentments.
You're not really mirroring, you're trying to help each other by taking on the other's responsibilities.
Yeah, we're projecting
Yeah.
what we like. She doesn't want to be feminine, and then I don't want to be masculine. But then,
So maybe acceptance of, maybe doing the inner work of allowing and talking to your feminine and saying it's okay. The masculine will step up now and you can be feminine, and speaking to the masculine and saying it's time for you to step up and be masculine and let go of the feminine and let her be herself. Rather than them both trying to help each other her trying to take on the masculine's responsibilities and the man taking on the feminine. Does that make sense?
Yes. Oh, it's like...
What's happening in your scalp?
It's the head pressure. Just it's like it spikes and it goes, spikes and it goes.
Right.
It feels like I'm digging like these answers are coming up, but it also feels like I'm digging them out from that
Right.
head pressure.
Okay.
Or the head pressure is part of the.
And you're letting it go too.
I'm just trying to let it flow, but it's also like to hear the answer is
To dig it out.
yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Okay, so what is Mark's lesson that he wants to learn in this current life?
To take responsibility for the masculine while still being vulnerable? Or does that make any sense?
That actually makes perfect sense. That's fabulous. What is Mark's purpose? What's his purpose that he's supposed to do in this life?
To be there for others when needed?
Okay. Anything else?
I guess I got the feeling I'm going to be part of something, but I'm not necessarily going to be the one to see it to the end.
Okay.
Like, I'll be the support up to a point, and then it'll be out of my hands past that.
Okay. Perfect.
And being the patience, learning how to be patient will be critical for both being in the correct time and place, and also for being able to let go when it needs to be released, whatever it is or day is.
Okay. Thank you for that. That's lovely. For the near future, is there something that you would like Mark to know?
It's gonna be okay.
Okay. Why did you briefly show the spacey oil painting above him scene?
It's like it is the energy of the pressure, head.
Okay.
The thing that's flowing.
Okay. So now he can visualize it. What's he supposed to do with that knowledge?
I guess in becoming comfortable with this flowing solidity, it allows it to work itself out instead of it's like constantly banging against it and agitating it.
Okay. How can he become more comfortable with letting it be?
Let go of questions and just be patient with the process and have faith.
Okay. Why did you briefly show Mark the rocking sensation?
To help it flow?
Okay. So how is he supposed to use that to help with the flow?
Developing comfort with the process of it flowing and the body work.
And what body work should Mark continue to do to help with this process of the flow?
I should lie down like this more often and also go on more walks for some reason.
That's good. No, that's perfect. Where should Mark go on more walks?
There's a forest area near our house. I sometimes walk past it to get the neighbor's dog, and I walk them through that area. I think we can circle around back to the house through there without needing to be walking a dog or going anywhere.
Okay. Is there anything that Mark's spirit guide would like to say to him?
I don't know if that's the spirit guide or the other stuff.
Tell me.
It's just like, shut up. It's probably the other stuff. I don't know.
No, that sounds like the spirit guide. Because you're always trying to take control and blah, 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 right?
I have a very hyperactive, hyperanalytical.
So that's funny. He's being funny.
Yeah.
Is there anything else the spirit guide would like to say to Mark today?
This helped a lot.
What?
This session.
Oh, your spirit guide's saying that this session has helped a lot.
Well, that's the thought that came up.
Oh, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, does Mark have a spirit animal?
See, a bunch of concepts came up all at once.
What? Tell me.
Oh, so it was like cat, raven. It's like just the cool stuff, but it's like, is that the actual answer, or is that just my brain being like, oh,
no,
animal?
No. That is the answer. So tell me.
It's like, it's like raven, cat. I think a dog I saw. Yeah, cat, raven, dog.
Okay. And what can Mark do with that information?
Be more kind to the cats. We have 2 cats.
Oh, okay.
They're spoiled. They're well fed. It's just like they have a habit of being very pushy about their food because they're on a diet. So sometimes I chase them around the house spraying them with a watering can. But the thing is, they take it as a game, so they just come back in like 2 seconds. I think they're perfectly fine. I don't abuse them.
Okay.
Their tails are always up. Their coats are always nice.
Right. Okay, so question: why do we have spirit animals? First thing that comes to mind.
It's supposed to be a reciprocal relationship. We help them develop through our care for them, and they help us develop through either what they inspire in us or through the very act of taking care of for them.
Okay.
So that's our development.
Oh, perfect.
And then by interacting with us, they also are more likely to be born as human or to advance in their own development.
Okay. Interesting.
But then that's actual animals though. That's not. I don't know if I've met like a spirit animal.
That makes sense though, as actual animals. Because just because my spirit animal's a dog or a cat doesn't mean it's any different, right?
It's the animal you resonate with, so maybe
Okay.
you're more likely to get along with them.
Okay. Well, that's a good answer. That's a full answer. Thank you. So, what was it like for you to speak to Mark in this way today?
A lot of energy worked through, or energy let go of,
Okay.
which was needed.
Okay.
And also, what's still like I'm still processing all that hard sludge stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're gonna. Yeah, we're not quite done yet. Is there anything that Mark forgot to ask that you wish Mark had asked you?
I've I've done too much questioning. I've got too many answers from too many places.
Okay.
I just need to do the work and have the patience.
Okay. Got too many questions, so
Not in this moment, but like throughout.
throughout what? Yeah,
The,
in general.
can I tell you? I did a tarot card reading. It's like I bought a tarot card deck to do a reading, and it's the only reading I did. And I immediately put away the deck,
Okay.
and it had one of the cup cards showing a man staring at a bunch of visions, like in the waters of the cups. And it's like related to the theme of the topic. I was just like enlightenment or meditation. And then what can help you was the Knight of Wands upside down, which basically means be cautious, stop running into things, stop chasing things. And what will hinder you is judgment, which could imply the critical faculty over engaging in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then your two outcomes is it's one of the sword cards where the lady was holding two swords and she was sitting in the center. People usually imply that that's like an imbalance, but in that case, the card represented stability,
Okay.
like reaching internal balance. And the other card was the Emperor card, I think upside down, meaning tyranny or oppression, which I thought was external authority oppression, but I guess it's the tyranny of my own mind
Right.
in indulging in the conceptual pursuit instead of having faith in the subconscious process
Right.
development.
Perfect.
And, yeah, I got the answer and I just didn't listen to it.
Right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you have to have faith, right?
It's just like calm down, let the whole thing just work itself out. Stop reading too much, stop asking too much, stop
Yeah.
running everywhere.
Running everywhere. Be still.
Just chill and things will happen.
Yeah. Okay. So, can you tell us today what is causing the sludge in Mark?
It's a mixture of the past. It's like all the old crap, all the old bad karma, but it's also the lack of patience, the overexertion. Because during my spiritual greed, I was trying to force the meditative states, and that's when the headache started because I was trying to force it.
Right.
And then even after I had stopped trying to force it, and I was just trying to do all the natural stuff. The headache was there, but I just didn't let the healing. I did damage.
Right.
I did damage in the greed.
Okay.
And this is the healing of these old tensions
Perfect.
that needs to be untangled.
Perfect. And how is that sludge now moving through the body? Is it, can you tell us?
Well, when it slows down when I'm answering the questions, or like
Yeah.
it spikes when I'm answering the questions, and then when I'm breathing, it starts flowing better.
Yeah. So the breath is so important. Yeah. I didn't realize. I used to walk around holding my breath. I had to learn how to breathe. I think you might have to too.
It's like, that's what I've been trying to do, but I guess I'm still like,
You keep forgetting.
I keep forgetting, or I keep thinking, oh, I'm not letting it just work.
Yeah, now you have to focus on it.
And just,
all the way down to your belly button.
and it might take like a year or years for this to untangle, but then
It's patience.
it's patience, and then it's like, in order to be at the right place at the right time, you have to stop moving about so much so that you can just be in the right place at the right time.
That is so true. Okay.
Which is annoying.
Yes, you can't force. You can't force it. You can't force being at the right place at the right time. How can you suggest Mark continue this healing and energy work in the future? What can he do to help continue this work in the future?
Reduce sources of agitation, like in hobbies or activities, and be patient with when stuff comes up. Don't learn how to sit with feelings, learn how to sit with the energy.
Okay.
Without needing to fix it or resolve it, and just let it process.
Okay. How will Mark feel different after this session today?
Hopefully I follow all this advice now. And then I think, assuming I don't add new agitations, the energy released should stay released.
Okay. Now that the energy, a lot of the energy has been released, how will that make Mark feel?
Calmer, hopefully. Things should flow better.
Okay.
And less fixations.
Okay. Does Mark understand what he has experienced today in the way he should?
Yes.
So how is the head feeling now?
It's like there's still work to do, but I'm okay with it now.
Okay. You know, Mark knows how to continue this healing.
Yeah.
And can we ask for this healing to also be worked on at night when he is sleeping?
I think at night I'm also absorbing energy. That might be part of what this stuff is.
Oh.
Like either from her or from like the neighborhood, or like I don't know. Do you ever feel like the mood of the day, but it's not necessarily your mood? It's
Yes.
like the world's mood, or like this particular region's mood.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
It's like it's not.
Okay, so
The healing does happen, but then it's like a constant flow to work through.
okay. So how often would you suggest Mark lay down in this way and do the breath work to heal and move the energy?
When the head pressure is significantly there, assuming there's no pressing stuff, like anything the pressing needs to be done, just lie down and let it do its thing.
Okay.
Instead of no reading, no distractions, no. just lie down and let it do its thing.
Okay.
So what am I like? The sewage pipe of the neighborhood? Yeah.
No, I feel that way too.
Astral sewage pipe?
I know, it's because you're sensitive, you feel everything. It's hard. Okay. Is there anything that you would like to tell Mark before we let you go and bring Mark back completely?
It just keeps repeating the same thing. Just be patient.
Okay.
It's the same answer.
Same answer. You have to. Okay. Well, they're emphasizing that.
It's like the massive emphasis. Just like patient, be patient, have faith, be patient.
Okay, that's good. How often would you suggest that Mark listen to their recording for his highest good?
When I forget, which I'll know when I do.
Okay.
Or when I feel like I've forgotten and I'm not following that advice.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very, very much for coming through so beautifully today.